Hello friends, subscribers and new viewers of this channel, and welcome to Machine Learning and AI Tutorials. We are continuing strong with discovering and testing different AI models and with explaining how to install and run them on a local computer and on GPUs. In this video tutorial, we are going to explain how to download, install and run locally Gemma 3 AI model published by Google. For those of you who are not familiar with Gemma, Gemma is a family of generative artificial intelligence models, and you can use them in a wide variety of generation tasks, including question answering, summarization, and reasoning. One of the nice things about Gemma is that the weights are provided open source, and you can tune them, you can adopt them, and you can even use them in commercial applications. By the end of this tutorial, you will learn how to install and how to run Gemma models by using the graphics user interface shown over here. For example, over here you can select the models. You can see that I'm running the largest model on my NVIDIA 3090 GPU, and you can see how nicely equations are displayed and how nicely this graphics user interface for interacting with the model. And you will be able to ask the question, for example, how to prepare an orange juice, and let's see how well it works. You can see in real time how large model works on my NVIDIA 4090 GPU, and over here you can see the memory consumption. It works like a charm. You will often see in the AI world that once a company publishes a model, the company will claim that this is the best model that ever existed, and this model is much better than all the models. And this is the standard story with this model. Namely, if you go to the Ollama website, you will see this marketing punchline: the current strongest model that fits on a single GPU. Well, this might be true and might not be true, and the community has to test and community has to confirm this. Most likely this is true, however, we still need to test it. Now, why this model is interesting and why this model deserves my attention? Well, you will first of all see over here that the model is available in 1B, 4B, 12B, and 27B parameters. That is, you can run these models or these variations of Gemma 3 model on your local GPU. Another interesting thing is this graph over here. And this graph compares the performance of DeepSeek with Gemma 3, then it compares Gemma 3 with DeepSeek V3, O3 Mini, Llama 3, etc. And you can see over here that Gemma model with only 27B parameters have almost comparable performance with much larger models. Another interesting and attractive feature of Gemma 3 models is that they are multimodal. Multimodal means that the models can process both text and images. And if you go to the Ollama website, you'll see over here that they also provide 4B parameter model, which is a multimodal or a vision model. In this video tutorial, I'm going to test several models. Namely, I'm going to test 12B parameter model and 27B parameter model, and I will see can they and how well they can be executed on my local GPU. And my local GPU is shown over here. Here are the specs. You can see that I'm using NVIDIA 3090, and here's my memory over here, 24 gigabyte of RAM. You can see that I'm using computer with 64 gigabyte of RAM memory, and here is my CPU, and here are the specifications. There are several approaches to install and run Gemma locally. If you go to the official Gemma 3 website, you will see here options. You can use Ollama, you can use Gemma library, you can use Keras, PyTorch, Gemma CPP, prompt system instructions, and Gemma setup. Furthermore, I noticed that on the Hugging Face in the Google repository, they have already posted the Gemma 3 27B IT model, and over here you can see how it's being executed by using transformers. That is, you can also use transformers and you can run it. In this video tutorial, I'm going to use the Ollama approach, and I will show you how to run the model locally and how to generate a graphics user interface for nicely running and interfacing with interacting with this model by using WebUI. In the future video tutorials, I'm going to explain how to run this model by using this approach, that is by using Hugging Face approach, and I will also explain how to use PyTorch, Keras, and Gemma CPP, so stay tuned. Okay, so let's start with installation. First of all, go to the Ollama website and click on download, then click on your operating system version. In my case it's Windows, and I will click download for Windows, and this will download the installation file. It's going to take a while to download this installation file, and consequently be patient. After the model is downloaded, go to the download folders and click on the file, and the installation process will start. The installation is relatively quick. It might take only less than maybe even a minute to install. Click on install, and over here it will be installed, and that's it. Later on we will verify the installation. The next step is to verify that Ollama is properly installed. To do that, open a new tab and type this address, and if Ollama is installed, then you should see Ollama is running. Also, you can click over here and you should see Ollama icon, and the final test of installation is to click here, search for command prompt, open the command prompt and type Ollama. And if you see this response, this means that Ollama is properly installed, and the next step is to download the model. To download the model, go back to the Ollama website and over here search for Gemma 3. And let's see what pops up. Click here and you will see this page. Now over here you need to select the model. Note over here that 4B is a multimodal vision model, and I will cover it in the next video tutorial. In this video tutorial I will go with this model and with 27B model. Note over here that to install 12B model you need 8 GB, and to install 27B model you need 7 GB on your local disk. So let's start with this model, and over here you will see that this installation command is generated. Copy this command, then open command prompt, and then in the command prompt paste this command. However, don't type run over here, type pull, since we just want to download the model, and press enter. And now the model is being downloaded. You can see over here the progress. It might take 1.5 minutes to download the model. After the model is downloaded, you should see this message, and let's type Ollama list to make sure that the model is actually downloaded, and let's run the model in a terminal. Namely, first we are going to test the model in the terminal, and then later on I will teach you how to generate a graphics user interface by using WebUI in order to nicely interact with this model. So let's type Ollama run, and then you need to specify the model name. Here it is, and let's press enter. But before we do that, let me just do this. Here I'm going to open this terminal window, and I'm going to put it like this such that you can see my GPU consumption. So let's see what happens over here. Let me just try to expand it. Yes, good. Okay, so we can see over here the GPU, memory, and everything. So let's press enter and let's see what's happening. Okay, now the model is being loaded. It's going to take a while to load the model, so let's wait. Once the model is loaded, you should see this peak or this jump in the consumed memory. This is probably around 8 GB, since this model is 8 billion parameters. Okay, so let's ask a question, who are you? And let's see what happens. Okay, you can see the peak in GPU actually consumption. Okay, let's ask how to solve a quadratic equation, and let's give equation something like this, and let's see how fast it works. It works like a charm. It's super fast, and this might be one of the best models. Okay, perfect. Next, let's try to download and run the model which has 27B parameters, and let's see can it be executed on my GPU. Here I'm going to exit the model by pressing Ctrl D, and then again let's go to the Ollama website. Then let's over here click on the model 27B, and over here is the installation command. So let's do this, copy this, go back to the terminal, and in the terminal let's paste this with only changing this to pool, and let's see what happens. Now it's going to take around 5 minutes to download this model. Note here that I'm downloading 7 gigabytes. Once the model is downloaded, you should see this message. So let's again type Ollama list to see everything, and here's the model. You can see its size, and let's run the model. While I'm running the model, keep in mind and watch this part to see the GPU consumption. So let's type Ollama run, and then let's paste this part over here, and let's see what happens. Okay, you can see immediately the peak here, right? So you can see 7 GB, right? Okay, this looks promising. So let's ask a question. Who are you? And let's see the answer. Wow, it works relatively well. Perfect. Okay, so how to solve a quadratic equation. So let's do something like this, and let's see what happens. And you can see over here that works like a charm on NVIDIA 3090 GPU. In my opinion, NVIDIA 3090 GPU might be one of the best GPUs when it comes to the trade-off between the price and the performance. It's still not expensive. It has 24 gigabytes of RAM, similarly to NVIDIA 4090. However, it's a little bit slower than 4090. However, still it works. Okay, so let's exit the model by pressing Ctrl D. The next step is to show you how to run this model by using the graphics user interface. Over here, I'm going to minimize this. I will expand this, and let's start with the commands. First of all, we need to do the following. We need to go to the base C drive. Over here, type Python -- version to make sure that you have Python on your system. Then over here, create a folder. Let's create a folder called, let me do this, test model. Then let's navigate to this folder, and inside of this folder I'm going to create a Python virtual environment by executing this command. Remember, every time you want to test the model, you need to follow this strategy. You need to create a Python virtual environment in order to isolate your model and installation libraries with everything else. And then let's activate this Python virtual environment. And over here, let's install OpenWebUI. OpenWebUI is a very nice framework for running models by using graphics user interface. Let's install it by running this command, and OpenWebUI will enable you, for example, to render equations, to show nicely graphs, to do all sorts of things, similarly to online ChatGPT graphics user interface. However, one of the disadvantages of OpenWebUI is that it's not lightweight. A lightweight option is Streamlit. Streamlit is much smaller, however, Streamlit is not so developed as OpenWebUI. Of course, you can upgrade Streamlit and you can do all sorts of things. However, to use Streamlit, you still need to know Python. On the other hand, for the OpenWebUI and to use it, you don't need to know Python except activating the script and activating the environment, and that's it. Now, it's going to take a while to install this, consequently be patient. Okay, the final step is to run OpenWebUI, and you can do it like this. If you type this command, over here you need to wait since still some packages will be installed, and after some time you will be able to run everything in your web browser. Okay, so let's wait for a while. until everything is being generated. And okay, once you see this screen, you can actually do the following. To run the model, type this address in your web browser, open a new tab, type it, press enter, and over here you can simply ignore this message if it appears. Just click here to get started. Then over here you need to enter your name. Note over here that you're registering locally, that is on your local computer. You're not creating an online account, you're just creating an admin account. And click here and just click OK. Let's go. This is a phrase from Ramon's album. And let's select the model over here. You have several options. Let's start with the smaller model and let's ask, who are you? Now, it's going to take a while to load the model and to execute it. However, you can see that it's still relatively quick. And let's ask the message, for example, how to solve a quadratic equation. Probably in the future, students will not know how to solve quadratic equations because they are going to use large language models. And you can see how model executes nicely. Okay, here, let's select another model. So let's select the larger model. Click here. Now we switch the model. Let's ask, who are you again? And let's see what happens. Now what will happen, the old model will offload and the new model will upload in your memory, and this might take a while, and especially because of open WebUI. And you can see exactly what happened, offload and load. And let's see how to solve a quadratic equation. And let's see what happens. And here it is. Perfect, works like a charm. Okay, that's all for today. I hope that you like this video. If you like the videos I'm creating, please press the like and subscribe buttons and see you in the next video tutorial.